Hey guys, welcome back to Living Life Barefoot. In today's video, we are going to do a little troubleshooting when it comes to having watering issues, especially if you are a microgreens grower and you are using these very same racks that you see in the video that I use for my microgreens business. I got these racks on Amazon, and for the most part, they work really well for my business, but I have found some issues, not only with the rack, but also issue with my trays drying out around the edges. So we're gonna go over a few things that might help you guys out if you're having this same issue. So one issue you might have is having unlevel racks. Now I move these racks in and out because I'm always cleaning underneath them, all the dirt and all the seeds and everything that go on the floor. So even though we have leveled them up several times, we have to continue to level them up, especially since I'm moving them around a lot. So that's one thing we're gonna do today and cover. We're gonna remove all these trays and put them on a different rack and go ahead and level this rack up, because one of the issues that we have, and Gavin can tell you because he actually takes over the watering on our microgreens business, what he has seen on the trays.
Here's one.
Here's one, yeah.
This one was on an uneven rack.
So yeah, you can tell, like after he waters, when it comes time to watering again, one side of the tray is good, but you can tell on most of the trays on that rack, this half will be very dry.
Yeah. So
we're noticing that a lot in my trays, so it is time to get this leveled up, and we're gonna go ahead and do that today. Okay, all four of these corners have little adjusters that you can move one way or the other so that you can level up your rack if it is on an unlevel surface. Another thing that you might try, if you're finding that only certain racks are unlevel, you can try bumping these up or down, however you need to do it to help level it out as well. You probably noticed we have some cardboard on each one of these racks. So I'm going to take you in a little bit closer and tell you why I started doing that, especially with these trays. It may be hard to tell in the video, but there is a little lip on each side of these racks. And so a lot of times if your tray is setting there, it may be bowing down a little bit in the center, which causes the center of your trays to be more wet and the outsides being more dry. So we decided we were going to use this cardboard to help level that up or keep that more supported in the center of the tray, and it's actually helped out tremendously. Another thing that I did try in the beginning when I noticed that just around the perimeter of my trays were being wet, we actually started, and I'll show you on this tray, we actually started drilling holes around the perimeter of these trays. So they had already had the holes in the center here, but we just added a few more holes around the perimeter of all of our trays, and that seemed to help out a little bit as well. So that's another option if you're finding that the outside of your microgreen trays seem to be more dry than the center. Okay, now that we've showed you some ways to troubleshoot some watering issues you might have with unlevel racks, Gavin's going to share with you some of his tips and tricks on how he knows which trays need watered and how much.
So a couple ways you can tell. One way is if you lift this bottom tray up and it's light.
The top tray?
The top tray. It's usually light. And if it is light, then it's going to need water. And also, if you see some spots like, see this one, there at the back, you can see that That needs water.
So in that case, when you find a dry spot around the edge, what do you typically do?
I either, if it's on one side, I'll just flip the tray around. But if it's just like the edges, I'll do some top watering.
Yeah.
So I usually use this cup. It's 1 3/4 of a cup.
Usually at the beginning, he doesn't give the trays a full cup of that. But usually towards the end of the growing cycle, he will do that full cup of a cup and 3/4 actually. So Gavin has a little trick on how he makes the watering go by
Really fast.
super quick.
So I used to bring it out and put it like that, but then I went like this. I put it like that one time. So all you gotta do is lift it, put the water in, and shut it. It's that simple.
So you just go through and you do that to all the trays?
Yes.
You give the water and then, okay.
Also when I'm watering, so we usually try to get both sides as even as possible, but I kind of figured out like on my finger, if I just put it like right there, it's about right here. That is about even on both sides. So I just do that with every tray. I usually water it all and then do that and line them up. Works fine, works easy.
Okay.
So here's what I do for the half tray. I usually use maybe that much. So I usually try to fill up the bottom of this, just like that. And that's usually enough water because I don't want to overwater them. And that usually works just fine.
I have to say he is a lot neater when it comes to watering, because when I would be in here watering, I would have it all over the floor.
Yeah, the floor's pretty messed up. The wood is. All right, time to line them all up. I usually just line it up with my finger. And then you can kind of eyeball it. So if you line like 2 of them up, these 2, you can kind of just line it up with those ones.
Having level microgreen trays is super important.
Hope you like my watering tricks. Stay tuned to the next video.